I'm not sure who's joining us today. I don't think too many of us can, being the Easter weekend. They've got things to do. But anyway, we will carry on and go through this. We're just waiting for a couple other people to come on in. I know a couple others are joining us, and then we'll see where we go. Hope you're well, Helen. And obviously, Sue, I've spoken to you. Good morning, Brenda. So I thought I'm just going to have a look at this. Right, where are we in the camera? Okay. Let's bring it up a little bit like that. Just move it slightly. Yes, I'm good, thank you, Helen. Moya will be joining us. My table's all wonky now. But she may be a little late because she's helping her neighbour out. So I'm not sure who else is popping along watching with us today. We've got a little bit of blue sky and sun coming out now, but it was so cold earlier on. So, well, I don't suppose it's any much warmer, really. Hope you got some nice weather. Hope you had a good day yesterday. And that you've all had a good week. Please let me know if this is a little dark. I'll go and put the main the main overhead lights on. If you think this is too dark, but let me know. Oh, Moya. Oh, Moya can't come. She's still at the hospital with her neighbour. That's okay. Looks like there could only be a very small elite group watching with us today. But, you know, the video will be up there so anybody can get to grab it. Hi, Nikki. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're well. We've got a couple of more joining us. Hi, Lucinda. No worries, no worries. I don't know how else on. Nancy might be with us. I'm not sure. Not sure who else might be joining us, but let's make a start anyway, because I know that a couple of people can't make it right today, but we'll have a look later. So, oh, that's good, Nikki. So here's the card, or the two cards I showed you. I'm actually going to change them because I'm going to put the thread around the outside on the one I do this time. And you can always add some little embellishments, which I might do. They're easily grabbable, they're over there. And you may have noticed I've switched this tag out because I had this one. Nothing's glued down yet because I can't make up my mind whether the happy birthday is too big, whether it looks better on the blue, and I cut this tag wrong when I was doing this yesterday. So ignore that because it would obviously, you need a little bit more space here. Or we've got best wishes in blue and best wishes in white, and I can't decide. So I think probably in the blue and maybe even embossed rather than stamped with white ink. But hey, I was just having a little play. And we can do that. The sentiment, we can go through the sentiment, but you know, it's up to you whether you want to add one now, whether you want to leave that for later. So that's what we're going to do. So the main thing we're going to be doing are these two prints, the gel plate. And as you know, nothing is guaranteed with the gel plate. So we're just going to have to see what happens here and see what we end up with. I'm going to change the stamp. I'm going to use a different stamp today. It's still Clarity. So I've left this all with Clarity. But this time, and I've got my stamps up here to use, I'm going to change the butterfly as well, just to give us a different take. And this flower here. So I'm going to use this flower this time. But apart from that, you know, it's pretty much the same kind of thing. Whoa, I've just knocked some ink pads flying. I'm going to stick to the stencils, and the stencils I've used are from Clarity again, the brick wall and the leaf pattern, because my idea was, let's grab this one back. The idea was to try and have a brick wall with some leaves and then the flowers growing up against the brick wall. That's where I was going. I have gone all the same colour family here, apart from obviously the butterfly. And again, I might go completely all the same colour. I'm not sure. Might just do a little yellow butterfly this time. I'm going to play with your ideas so we can all do this together. You can also do different colours if you want to. And this is one I was playing around with. First of all, because I was only going to do the 4, I was going to do it as twinges. Whoa! Now I've moved that around. So it's something like that. So you can see how, Angela, let's get the square right around. This is definitely the wrong way around. Well, anyway, it's because I moved it and I didn't glue it down, but you get the gist. You can see what I've done here. Because obviously the brick wall's got to go the same way. There we go. So that's the kind of thing. All right. I think I might have to, I don't know what I've done here, but anyway, I think you get the gist of seeing how the different colours work as well. And we may get these white patches on here where it doesn't pull up properly as well. There's the gel plate for you. Another one, and I think I'm going to go with this, is that we've got the wall, and I've gone with a darker leaf print this time on this one, which I was playing around with, to that one with a turquoisey one. And I may go with, I think I'm going to go with this darker one this time. Though it may hide the flowers. See, I have a predicament here. Just speaking out loud while I'm talking to you. I just wanted to show you different colorways that I've been playing around with so you get an idea of what it does look like. All right. So hopefully I haven't confused you too much by wittering on there. So the first thing we're going to do then is grab our gel plate. And you need your paint. And I'm going to use 2 blues on this. So we're going to need the brayer. We're going to need the stencil. And you're going to need some card or paper to clean your brayer on. And you're going to need a sheet of stencil card to take one print, the main print, and a sheet of stencil card to do the other print. So where we're going to take the ink off of this before we actually take the final print. We'll go through it all. So what you basically need is your gel plate, your paint, your brayer, your stencil, some paper or card to clean your brayer, and I'm going to go the other side in a minute, and you need 2 sheets of stencil card or 7x7 card. Okay? Morning, Nicola. Here we go. So let's get this going. So let's have our paper. I'm going to go this side because I'm right-handed. Have the paper there, stencil to grab here for a minute. So I'm going to go with 2 blues. I've just got mine. I'm going to do a little, because this one I didn't want completely dark and I didn't want it completely light. So I'm going to mix the colours up a little bit. All right. So let's put these onto the, just get that off a minute. Going to save that. We don't want to get rid of that. And then, how did I do this before? I actually mixed it this way. We can always add a little bit more paint. Anyway. And then, so I've got a lighter and a darker colour. I'm going to have an even darker colour in a minute. Let's just put that to there for a minute. So then I'm going to brayer. And I prefer brayering standing up. So hopefully you can still see this. And then I'm just going to pour the paint even across. And I like this kind of mottled effect that I've got here. So I don't want to go too mad with this, otherwise I'm going to colour it in. So I like that kind of colouring. And then clean off the brayer, and let's place our stencil down. Now I'm using the mat here to keep everything lined up. So the acrylic block that the gel plate is sitting on is how I'm doing it. So line it up, however you've got it. So lining it up like that and taking one of your stencil cards, line this up again because we're going to reuse this. So I'm lining it up best as we can. And then I'm just pushing through. So we're basically taking the bricks, if you like, from the brick stencil onto this piece of card. So all the ink in the aperture. So whatever stencils you're using, you're now taking the paint, up onto your card from basically the apertures. All right, give it a good press and then pull off. There we go. Oh, I like that. That looks quite good. And then we need to lift this gently, and you can see where I haven't pressed quite hard enough here, but that's okay. We're just going to get different kind of patterns, and this is the gel press. So there we go. We've got that, and it looks like my brick wall's slightly wonky, but never mind. I'm just going to put this to the side. It's going to have ink on, paint on it, but we'll leave it like that for the minute. Now this has to dry a second, so we need to try and get this dry. So you want to waft it, or just wait for your paint to dry. There we go. Give it a good waft. So you want this to be we want this to be dry. This paint needs to be dry, and of course we can't heat it, otherwise our gel plate will just become a puddle. So we may have to just wait a little while, just a couple of minutes. It shouldn't take too long to dry. The other day it dried quite quickly. Yeah, it's going quite quickly. There we go. Not too long now. Just give it another little waft. Get the paint to dry. Okay, I think we're okay. If yours is dry enough now, we're going to go in with the second colour. I'm just going to put not too much paint on, a little bit there and a little bit here. Should be enough. And then I'm just going to brayer over. Oops, this might not be enough paint. In fact, it's not. I haven't put enough paint on. It's a different consistency of paint as well. So there we go. Whoa. There we go. Clean the brayer. And then with our second stencil, where's that got? Oh. Lay that one up as well. And then again, take your piece that you've already pulled the first print from, line that back up again and press again. Oh, hello, Pauline. Oh, okay, Lucinda, sorry. I've actually mixed two paints together, but you want your lighter colours. So I've got a lighter and a little darker paint, and then with my leaf, I've then gone with the dark one straight. So your first print will be the lighter colour, and then the second paint you use with your leaf will be the darkest colour, or your alternative colour if you're going to go with a different colour to the brick wall. So the leaves will be the different colour or the darker colour, if that makes sense. Is that all right? Sorry, I missed your message. Right, and then pull, and then we've got something like this. Now that's where I didn't have enough paint. Still a little bit on there. So you can see, but I like that pattern. I think that's good. And this is the second one. So this is the smaller card that we're making. So I can chop that half there. Or if I want this broken bit, then I can do that as well. Okay. So that's that one that we're going to put to the side. We're going to remove the stencil. And we're going to wait for all of that to dry as well. Okay, so we'll just wait a moment for that to dry. And I'll wait for everybody to get to that point, catch up. Is everybody all right here? So I had a light and dark blue to start with. Oops. Pretty close in colour, really. They're not that far apart. And then that was the first layer with the brick wall. And then this was the paint I used, the marine from Dina Wakley, for the leaves, for my second stencil. So I hope that's all right. Okay. If you've got any questions, just let me know. And then we'll just wait for this to dry. Give it a good waft. And then this is a great way of everybody catching up. So we should all be at this point at the moment. So let's give it a little bit of a... That's okay, Lucinda. I don't have to go anywhere for the minute. Let me know what's happening. So if everybody's waiting for the paint to dry, or whenever you're ready, just let me know when you're at this point so that you've got both colours on, and that gives it a time for mine to dry anyway. So that's okay. We should be all right. Okay, Pauline. Nice to have you with us as well, Pauline. Right, as I say, Moya's not able to join us this morning. It's a shame. She's helping a neighbour. She's helping a neighbour out who unfortunately fell. So they're at the hospital with her. She fell in the week. She's going to hospital for a checkup. That's all. But they're still waiting to be seen, so she can't join us. Seems to be the week for falls because my dad fell as well, but he's okay. He's not too badly injured. It's all a worry. It's all a worry. Yes, Lucinda. So once your first layer is dry, so in my case, I then use this for the second layer, so my darker colour paint, then goes all the way over, then you put the stencil on top, then you pull your print through the aperture of your second stencil. So you should end up on the gel plate. If I raise this up, hopefully you can see it. My gel plate's a bit yellow with age here. Maybe I ought to use a new one. You should be able to see I've got the brick wall in the light blues and the leaves in the darker blue. Can you see if I go that way towards the light? Brenda, no, I haven't cleaned my stencils. If you want to dash them and chuck them in a sink of paint, sink of water, then yes, please do so. I haven't. It's acrylic, so you can scrape it off or just leave it there. It's not going to affect anything. If you want to go and clean them, then please just pop them in some water, and then you can scrape them off a bit later. Oh dear, Lucinda. I'm sorry to hear you have gloopy paint. It's all right. I didn't have enough on here. Maybe it's a little bit thick. But apart from Lucinda, how's everybody else doing? Because obviously Lucinda's waiting for her paint to dry. Is everybody else at this point that I've got now where their second layer of paint is dry? Thank you, Nikki. Just keep wafting it, Lucinda. Just keep wafting it if it's not dry. And then once we're at this place, for those of you that are ready, we're going to go with our lighter colour. We're pulling the print. So you need a white or a creamy colour. You want a light colour to pull this print. Okay. So I'll just give you a couple of minutes. Okay, Lucinda, you're wafting. Okay. This is what we're going to do. Whoa. Okay, Nicola, thank you. Don't know how Sue and Pauline getting on. Okay. Thank you, Brenda. All right. So now what we're going to do then is we're going to put some white paint or the lighter colour paint on your pad, on your gel plate. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, that looks like too much. Let's just, might need a bit more. And then just, now, because we're going to pour the paint, you don't want it to be incredibly wet like this. You need to, so take some off. You want it so you can see the pattern through it. And I will have to admit, the first time I did this, I didn't have enough white paint on, so it didn't pull it all off. Right, that should be about right. And then let's go to this and see what we've got. So with your paper, try and line it up with your plate. Oh, okay, Sue. I'll stop at this point anyway. Once we've got this point off, give it a really good rub. You can even go over it with the brayer if you want on the back. Make sure you give it a really good press and pray. Hasn't come off. See, I hope yours is going to be better than mine. Yeah, now I still got a lot of paint on there, so I'm going to do that again. So my white dried too quickly. Good grief, Angela. Now you've got way too much. Let's see what we've got here. Hopefully you've got a good print. Right, let's try this one. That's not a bad print actually, so I don't know what I'm going to get now. Let's see what we get. Right, here we go. Oh, there we go. So there's just this little bit here. Just this bit here refused to come out and play. Let's see. We might be able to get it off. Or I might just wreck what I'm about to do. Anyway, let's have a little look. Can we get... Gosh, it looks like my paint's Nearly had it as well. Right. It's going to put a bit more white on there now, isn't it? So let's have a look. If I turn this over, I can see where I'm about to line up. Is it going to line up? Let's have a look. There we go. Got a little bit there. Oh, that's okay. It's a bit messy, but that's fine. That's the gel plate for you. There we go. So I'm hoping you end up with something like this, or yours may even be better than that. You've pulled a better print. Okay, Nikki. There we go. We're going to cut this bit off anyway, so I didn't quite line it up well enough, but that's okay. I think the background will be fine. This background will be fine to do what I want to do. As I said, you never know with the gel plate what's going to happen. Because it helps if you get enough paint on it and everything. Right, let's get this out of the way. Right, so I've got the brayer and stuff out of the way. Okay. I've got a little bit of paint on here, so let's get that cleared up. So I'm kind of at this point now, so I'll just wait for you to get to this point. You're going to need your trimmer. Well, I suppose you don't have to actually. No, we can do the next bit on it like it is, and then we'll get the trimmer and trim down so that we get a 15 centimetre square. There we go. I kind of like that pattern actually. It's very old wool, doesn't it? Crumbling. That's okay. We're all right. So let me know when you've got a print or two. If you like myself and Nikki, you've got two. You can decide. I'm going to go with this one. So obviously didn't have enough white paint to pull it off. So let me know. It's a good time for everybody to catch up now because we're all going to start from the same place. I'm just going to grab my stamps ready. Get the sentiments out. I don't know if I want them. There we go. All right. So how are we all doing? Do we have a print? Do you all have a print? Oh, okay, Nicola. Have you put too much paint on? If you can't see the stencils, it may be... Oh, you haven't pulled enough off through the apertures, or you might have had a little bit too much paint. But don't worry. I mean, this is the gel plate for you. Okay, Nikki. So, Nicola and Nikki, are you going to have a go now? Are you going to watch the video with us? Or are you going to, what are you going to do? Take another print now and then catch up? Oh, Lucinda. Okay, guys. What's gone? It's all gone a bit haywire, hasn't it? Okay. I don't know that. So we've got Lucinda that needs to do another one. Okay, Helen. All right. Has anybody managed to get something looking like mine, or even better, if you've got the print to come off properly? Obviously, mine didn't because I didn't have enough paint over here. You're all doing it again. All right. Well, I can wait for you all to do it again. It looks like you're all doing it again now, or the majority of you are. Let's have a look. What's going on here then, Nicola? Okay. What stencils did you use? Okay, shall we do it again then? Because it looks like all of you want to do it again. Right, okay. Let's just do it again. Okay, Brenda. That's good. Right, well, it looks like it's all gone a bit haywire for quite a few of you, actually. So let's do this again. Let me just grab some more stencil cards. Just the right way round. Don't know, there is a left, right, and a wrong, actually. I'm going to use, this was another second I was playing with. I want to try it differently, so I'm going to use that back to pull my other prints off. Okay, let's do this again then. Let's all do this again. Right, so let's take, let's get these stamps out of the way. So let's get our gel plate. So everybody's starting from the same point now. So let me know when you're ready to start again, can you? Because obviously you've got to get your paper. So let me know. I'll just use this to clean. So let me know. Right, Lucinda's ready to go. Helen, you're ready to go. Sorry about this, Brenda. If you're happy to sit through or have another go, you can. It looks like everybody's got a disaster, so let's start again. If you want to clean your gel plate up, then yes, you can use water or leave, well, depending what state it's in, I'm going to leave mine because this will just add to the texture anyway. It's up to you. Maya, hello. You're back. So, okay, Nikki, great. You could, Helen, it depends how much paint you've got on it. If you really are worried about it, then you could try and wash bits of it off, or you could actually just put a little bit of paint on and pull it. Bit of a state. Okay. All right. So if I were you then, Helen, I would take I would take some extra paint onto the gel mat and pull it, and that should clean the paint off. Because that is the best way to clean it. If it's really, really not to your liking at all, you could try with water, but you really need soap and water in the sink. So it's up to you. You can either try and clean it with paint, or in this instance, can you turn it over? Because the other side should be okay. And then you can clean it afterwards. If it's not going to clean with paint, then how about the other side? What's the other side doing? I'll get mine back on here now. So, okay. Right, so we've got, who's ready? Lucinda? Yeah, okay, Helen. Have a quick go at that. So we'll just leave that. Pauline, how are you doing? Are you starting again? And we'll all go through this again. So you want your gel paint, your gel press, your paper to clean your brayer, the first layer of paint, and I'm going to go with these two blues. Okay, Pauline. If you've got a 7x7 stencil card, it doesn't need cutting. Obviously, if you've got the larger one, then it will. So I'm going to use these two paints. Now, both my paints are opaque. If any of you are using translucent paints, then you're going to get a different print. I should have thought, I don't know what paint you're using. Because obviously you want to kind of keep it so that the opaqueness of it will mean that each layer will be seen in and of itself. Translucent will look okay, it'll just that you'll be able to see through it. So the first thing we're going to do, Paul, have you got the Viva Decor glossy kind of paints? Is that what you're using, Pauline? I'm not sure how well they'll work, because they've got a kind, some of the Viva Decor paints have got a kind of coating to them when they're dry. It says multicolour. Okay, I'm not sure which ones they are. Well, let's give it another go anyway. Let's give it a go. So, most of us, are we ready? Are we ready to give it a go? Right, Sue's ready. Nicola's ready. Helen, are you ready? Right. Pauline. Okay. Right. Okay, so we're going to go with these two paints first. All right. And let me grab everything that's on the floor now. Hang on a second. Oh. Let's get my stencil ready. And my brayer. Okay. So I'm just putting, you don't want too much of this paint. Obviously you want enough to cover, but you don't need it to be really, really thick and gloopy. Okay, so once you've got your colours on, then we're going to roll. Now with your brayer, make sure you roll it. Make sure this is actually turning, okay? So we need to roll it so you can hear it. So then this is picking up the two different colours. So when you're happy with that, I like that mix, so I'm going to stick with that mix. Just going to clean the brayer. Take my stencil. Make sure the brick wall is straight. It should be lining up like that. Cool. And then let's take my second print, or the first, sort of, then what's going to be the negative print, and really push. I mean, this is card going through the stencil, so let's give it a really good rub. I mean, this is our negative one, so it's not too bad. Get a really good press in. Right. Oh, make sure you give it a really good press. Pull it. Okay. So I've got that print pulled. And I'm going to take the stencil off. There we go. We need that to dry. Let's pop that down on the floor again. And we need this to dry. So some of this texture is because it was already on my plate, but that's fine. I like how that's come up. And that's another really nice print as well. So let's give it a good waft. We need this to dry. So let's make sure it is dry for all of you before we do the next layer. Okay. Let's have a look, Pauline. How are you getting on? Excellent. That's one. Okay. So we all should have one of these, whatever your stencil is that you're using. And we should now have a dry gel plate. Let me know when your gel plate's dry. I'm not moving on until everybody's at this point. Don't forget, it's never going to be completely perfect. We're on a gel press here. Gel plate, gel press, whatever you want to call it. It's never going to be perfect. Obviously, you want to be able to see it, but it's not going to be perfect. Thanks, Nikki. So this is where you want to be now. A dry gel plate and a print. Your first print. Thank you, Moya. Okay, Lucinda. Okay. Thank you, Helen. All right. So now we're going in with our second layer of paint, which in my instance is this, the blue, the darker blue. Thank you, Nicola. All right, so whichever one is your darkest colour, this is what you're going in with now. Thanks, Pauline. So with your darker colour, we want some paint at the top and the bottom. And see, this is a heavy acrylic. Yeah, it's quite heavy body, this one. So then we're going to roll and make sure it rolls. You should hear it rolling. And that way you're spreading the ink. You can go the same way, but just make sure it's rolling. There we go. I'm going to put my leaves on. Oh, darn it. Oh, it's a bit close to that edge there. Whoa. And then lay up your stencil, your card. So with your paint, your stencil, and then the card that you're pulling your negative print, if you like, from. That a good rub. Get really into the apertures of your stencil. we go. Pull this one. So you should have something like that, which is obviously better than my first one. And then peel this away. We should have something like this. Looks like I could be missing a bit of my brick wall here. Let's see what we get. Okay, Brenda. So once you've taken your second print, then we're just going to waft that to let that dry. There we go. And then when you've got that and that, put that out the way. I'm going to take this piece now. And this is where we need to colour it with the white. Just going to shake my paint down to the bottom here for a minute. So when your second one is dry, just let me know. We'll do all this together. Once we've done this, we're then going to add the lighter colour. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Pauline. Oh, okay, Pauline. Yeah, that's okay. Thank you, Nicola. Okay, Lucinda, you've gone ahead of us, have you? Right, so if everybody's ready, we're now going to go, oops, with some white paint. Let's get some off of this now. So onto the press, 2 pieces. So, and now we're going to get this paint over here. Now, you don't want it so thin that it's not going to pull anything. It's going to be too dry. You don't want it so thick that you can't see what's beneath it. So I'm going to go with this. So you should be able to see the print underneath it, although that mark there is not looking great. And then give it a good rub. Right, really good rub, and then pull. There we go. And now I've got a better one as well, second time around. There you go. Hopefully you've all got one. Thank you, Moya. So hopefully you've got a print, either from the first one or the second one? So let me know. Yeah. Great, Helen. I know this is difficult when I'm not there with you, isn't it? But hopefully we're going to get there. We'll have to do some more gel pressing, won't we? Well done, Pauline. Excellent. So this is what I've got. So here's my first one. Okay, Nikki. As long as it's better, that's fine. As long as you're happier with it for the moment. So here are my first ones. You can see mine weren't brilliant, Paul's the first time. Okay, Pauline. I'm glad you're having fun. And then, oh, excuse me, here's the second one. So obviously my second one has pulled better than my first as well. But that's what happens. So I'm going to go with my second ones then. Same as probably what you're going to do. Right, well, that's good, Sue. Has everybody got better ones? Excellent, Nicola. Glad to hear it. Oh, excuse me, just need to have some water. Okay, Moya. Well, if it's not bad, let's hope it's good then. Yes, Pauline. Even if it goes wrong, it doesn't matter. Yeah, they're great, Nikki. They'll be great. They'll be great. I like them. So we can work with them. All right. So is everybody now at this point? They have two prints. So you can move everything out the way now. Yeah, exactly, Lucinda. The great thing with the gel press is if you've got paint on it from elsewhere, it will come through. And when I first did this, I had some other colour on it when I was prepping for this, and that's what came through on mine as well. I had different colour on it somehow. So it's all good. It's all good. All right. So we're going to move on now. And the fact is we're going to do some stamping. So you do need to make sure this is dry. I think it's, yeah, it feels dry to me. And we're going to need permanent ink because we're going on to acrylic paint. So I'm popping this is our negative, so to speak, print, and I'm moving that out the way. And this is the one that we've pulled. So I'm using this one. The one you've just pulled with the white paint is the one that we're going to be working with first. Because this is the one that's going to take the time. The other one is easy. I can just go through it with you if we don't get time to finish it. All right. So the thing we're going to do now is stamp. And I like to stamp on my mat. So I'm just going to pull this up. Now, I'll go through what we're going to do first. You're going to need some scrap paper for your butterfly. So hopefully you've got a piece of white scrap paper hanging around the joint somewhere. I've got hundreds of the stuff, bits. If you're anything like me, it's really getting to a point where, you just can't keep it anymore. You just have to bin it. There we go. So we'll do that in a minute. And we'll do this one first. Is everybody ready? So what we're going to do then is we're going to take whichever stamp you're using, and it doesn't have to be flowers. It could be absolutely anything. I just happened to grab the Clarity one because I thought I haven't used Clarity for a little while. So we're going to do some Clarity stamping. And the idea I was having in my head, and it's up to you how to do it. I've done it in 4 quarters. So I've gone like this, and then I pulled them at different angles. You can have it upside down. You can have it straight on. It's entirely up to you how you do your stamping. All right. What we're going to do once we've got the stamping is that. So we're going to have the flowers in all sorts of directions coming and going, and it's entirely up to you how you do this bit. All right. But that's what we're going to do. Nicola, your cats have got to your mat. Oh my gosh, they have. Oh dear. Well, what can I say? Little monkeys, aren't they? Little monkeys. Now, did I just throw my ink on the floor? Is that the one that went on the floor? Oh, yes, it is. So the one that fell at the beginning of the video is the one I actually want. Now, I'm going to use dark blue again. It's a bit of a risk. I'm not sure how it's going to show up. But if you want to go with black, go with black. Or if you've got other colours, I don't know what colours you're using, Lucinda, but if you've got a little bit of red paint in there, then red ink might look good. What it's got to be, though, is permanent. Because we're stamping onto acrylic, and we are going to have to dry this, so we can blot it down a bit. And if it doesn't dry completely, then we will have to use the heat gun just to get it to dry a little bit, okay? So ink up your stamps and start stamping the pattern. Whatever you're using, as I said, it doesn't have to be flowers. I just happen to have flowers because of I kind of like these ones from Clarity, and we need to I'll have a talk about later about any of the new Clarity stuff. So what I'm going to do, and remembering it's going to come off the edge, because the bit that we are cutting, we're only going to use the ink, the painted bit. All right. So determine where you want them. I'm not going to have mine straight. So let's bring them in and then stamp. Give it a good bit of pressure. You're going onto acrylic paint, so you want some ink, good piece of ink on your stamp. Let it sit, and then and then put it. There we go. Yeah, you can see. So there's my first one. All right, I go more to the light there for you. So there you go. And that's what we're going to do all the way across. I mean, another thing you could do, although we won't do it today because of time, is you could colour these in. You could add some, your polychromos will work over here. Pencils would be better than watercolour, because the watercolour is going to come off the acrylic. If you think that you wanted to colour them and that might give you a better idea, a better pattern, then you can do. But today, I just wanted us to do this kind of creating our own background and then cutting them down. And then what you can do is, and I've seen this all over Pinterest, is people are using offcuts of paper, design, the pattern paper. They stamp that on, maybe using 1 or 2 images, smaller ones. You could do this for any size card. I mean, I know I'm doing the 9 going on an 8x8, but you could do, if you wanted to do it in the 2-inch size squares, you can, or even 1-inch square to go on a smaller card. You can do that. You don't have to have 9. But I thought we might as well use what we've given here. There we go. And then keep inking it up so that you have 4 images, or however you've done it. I mean, if it's depending on your stamp, it could be completely different, and it could be going all over the, if you've got a smaller stamp, you could be stamping in different directions. How am I going to do this one? What if we go like that? Let's go like that. Time I've made up in mind, my ink's going to be dry, isn't it? Okay. And then the last one. See how well that's going to fit in. I want to go in there, and I don't want to stamp over that, and I haven't got a mask. Let's go. Stop faffing, Angela, and just stamp. Okay. I guess we know where the butterfly's going on this one. Okay, there we go. That should have gone a bit further over so that I could have got that at a different angle. But then, see, I'm going to start being picky on what I've done here, but that's fine. This is going to look fine. And we're cutting it up, don't forget. So whilst that is drying, well, let's blot it first of all, if you're at that point. Make sure it's blotted. I might have to do this a couple of times. And then what we'll do is we'll do the butterfly while this is drying. Yeah, there's quite a bit of blotting going on there. You can see where I clean my brayer. Probably need to get a cleaner bit of paper now. So, give it a good blot. Right, there's still a little bit coming off, but let's pop that to one side to dry. And then I'm going to do the butterfly. And as I said, I've got a different image for the butterfly this time. And I'll be stamping that in black. Or did I? Did I stamp it in the black or the blue? Oh no, I stamped it in the blue. Let's keep it in the blue. And this time I'm going to do a yellow butterfly. So I'm just going to make sure this is clean. So we're going to ink up our spare card with whatever colour you want to make your image, whatever it is. If you're going with a butterfly or a bird or whatever you want to put on there. Just going to clean this, and it needs to be dry. It's my cloth. There we go. There's a lot of orange coming off of that. And then I'm just going to colour up. So, whoa. There's too much orange on there. We won't do that then. Way too much orange coming off of that. Still, look at that. Mind you, it's quite a pretty colour, isn't it? But we don't want that. So what we're going to do then is I have to use one of these. Is this dry? It should be dry. Hopefully I can get that orange off. That's better. Grab what's on my table here. There you go. Now, if you want to do enough to get two on, You can, although we'll just worry about finishing one card for the minute. But I have used 2 of the butterflies, so I'll stamp 2. There we go. That out the way. Right, put this down. Right. And to move the stamps out of the way. That's fallen off. Oh, I haven't stamped that one yet, have I? Right, there we go. So ink up your stamp and then just stamp. So colour your card and then stamp your butterfly image. I don't know what is on that smoothie, but it's filthy. There we go. Make sure there's enough ink. There we go. It's weird, having used loads of different stamps for the 100-day project. It's quite surprising coming back to these. They're because they are really thick. As you know, Clarity stamps are really thick. Others are thick, but I think these are coming close to being the thickest. I think I've got another set that's quite thick like this. It's quite weird stamping with them again because they're quite thick, as I said. You know, with the density of it. Right, so these can now just get moved out of the way. And we can make sure our butterflies are dry so we can blot them. And we'll cut out at least one. And then once that's done, this should be hopefully close to dry. We might just have to waft. There we go. Wow, you're not wanting to dry today, aren't you? It's obviously a nice juicy pad I've got here. Tell you what, I'm going to have to waft this as well. My pad's really juicy. There we go. Right, and then let's cut a butterfly out. So let's just do this. So whilst our gel plate print is now drying after we've stamped it, I'm going to ink up some card. I've inked up some card, stamped the embellishment, if you like, that's going on the top, and now cutting it out. Okay. It still isn't dry. Or I've got ink on my fingers. Yeah, I have. Look at that. Give that a bit of a clean. Really mucky fingers. Okay. For those of you at the Somerset group, I still haven't heard from Ash Hill Hall about them opening up, so I don't know what's going on there for the minute, so I can't give you any more information. The Hampshire and Dorset group, I'm working on the fact that we're going to be back together again, unless anything changes, the first weekend in July. There we go. Now, do I cut these apart? Antennae on butterfly are just so dodgy sometimes to cut, aren't they? Okay, let's make it let's split them. Ooh, don't fall off. There we go. So that's one. Let's just worry about the one for the minute, I think. So let me know when you're ready that you've got your card. I think this is going to have to be heat. I'm just going to put a little bit of heat on this one. And you've got your embellishment ready. Lucinda, yeah, possibly. Or if not actually online workshops in themselves, then maybe the videos. But yes, because I know some of you can't get to the workshops. Or it's tricky for you to get to the workshops. So I don't want to leave you stranded. So I'll see how it goes. I don't know how many people will do the online workshops if we're back face to face though. But I'm having a think. I'm having a think about what's the best way to do it. Wow, look, just so I've just wafted this and it's still damp in some places. Yeah, it is. You will. Okay, thank you. Right. Yeah, so even though I've wafted it, I'm still finding that my ink is still a bit wet. So hopefully yours is dry by now. Thank you, Helen. I think Nancy will as well. So I've got 3 of you. So we'll see. I'll see what happens and how I can do it. Okay. So what we need then is our gel pressed image stamped up and a butterfly. That's what we should have at the moment. And now we've got to get into some cutting out. Now, hopefully, you've already cut out your layered squares. So hopefully you've got 9 of these. Intentionally, Nikki? Or, I know, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but sometimes they are very fiddly. So let's pop him to one side, or her. Is everybody ready to start work on their gel press print? Let me know. If you're not, don't worry, I'll wait for you. It's fine. I'm guessing you're just cutting out. Okay, ready. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Nikki. Got to determine which way is the right way around on this now. How I want my flowers. I think it's this way. This is where it gets a bit problematical if you forget. I cannot believe this is still right. I'm still going to waft myself. Thank you, Helen. Right, let's hope that's good enough now. Okay, Pauline, I did see your message. I understood, Helen, I understood. It's okay. All right, then. So this is where we've got to get the trimmers out, or your guillotines, or whatever you're going to be using. And I'm just going to use this because it's smaller. And what we're going to do, I better show you first, don't I? What we're going to do is you want 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters. So I'm just having a look, and that is, yeah, on the edges of my gel plate. Yeah. So I would, if I were you, I'd cut one of your edges and then measure to make sure you're still, you know, where you've got to go. Because on this one, it looks pretty even though. All right. So that's what we're going to do now. So you'll cut and do cut. I know the gel press is round. I know that, but cut straight. All right. It will all work out in the end. So I'm just going to cut mine. Gosh, I can't see where it is, can I? And it's not straight. Brilliant. Wow, that's well out. That's okay. So it's just the edges we're worrying about for the minute. So there's my 15 centimeters on that bit then. Yeah. I actually have 15 on here actually, so let's have a look. Is that roughly where it is? And then the first one. There we go. Make it 15 and then 15 again. And let's hope that this is 15. Let's have a look. Let's see what we've got here. So you want a 15 by 15 square. Oh, look at that. It's too short. I knew that was going to happen. 15. So this bit, this way, somehow I've cut 2 millimeters too much off. Okay. Well, so I'm going to have 3 of my squares, not square. But I'll show you the principle, okay? I'm not going to start that again. So determine which way you want your pattern up. All right. And then you're going to cut 5 centimeters and 5 centimeters. All right. Now, what am I going to do? Because I don't have that. I have 14.8 now, don't I? One way. That's 15. Yes, I have 14.8 one way. Okay. That's 4.93 then. Okay. Well, that should be what I have left, but we'll see. So if I do mine a fraction under the 5 centimeters, then hopefully we'll be all right. But what you need to do is cut your 9. Your 9 squares. And make sure you're cutting them in the right, so they go the right way, so that they're all together, so that your pattern's going to flow. You don't want to chop too much of your pattern off unless it's at the edge. Okay, and then, which I'm going to have to do here because I've undercut mine. So, now it looks like that's okay. Is that the right? Ooh, that might be all right. Okay, and then once you've got them cut into your 3 strips, you then need to cut. So mine are out of the way now. Make sure you get these in the right order. So make sure they fit like this, because this is how you're going to put them on your little squares. You've got your background squares. So you've got them like that. So let's just take the first strip, and then we're going to cut the 5 centimeters for you. So which bit am I going to lose? The top or the bottom bit? Because I've got to lose a fraction. Right, okay. So let's just do this like this for the minute, and let's see what happens. 1, 2. Oh, no. Oh. That's all right. And then what you got to do is then keep it back in its position. Help! How have I got to put this back together again? And then make sure somehow they got to flow somehow. Oh no, I can't get my jigsaw back together again. That's going to be the top, surely. Aha! There we go. There's the leaf. And then that's a rounded corner. So, is that the top? No. So, keep an eye on where yours are all going. Oh, look, why isn't mine not going right now? Right, that's definitely the top. That's there then. Ha! Look, it's easy when you know how, isn't it? Right, there you go. So keep them in the 3. Mine are not going to be brilliant squares here, but let's just do it. Yeah, they're going to be wrong, aren't they? Oh, for crying out loud, that is way... Ah! Ladies, don't do what I've just done. Yeah, I know, that's what I was doing, but it's all gone pear-shaped and I've miscalculated. So I'm going to keep going to show you, but mine is most definitely not cut properly. Look, I've got 2 little ones at the bottom now. This one's even smaller. What have I done? Oh, this is going well then, ladies. I'm glad to see that. Oh, way too short. I don't know what I've done on mine, because I was cutting it a fraction shorter. And it hasn't worked out. Because even when I do that, then this is still too... Right. Yeah, this is a complete disaster on mine, but yours will be lovely. Yours will be fine. And what you should have is 3 strips like this. Okay, except yours are going to be equal, but mine are not. Yeah, and thank you everybody doing my maths for me. Thank you very much. I didn't pay any attention and I didn't do it right. So I should have cut to 14.7 as you said, and then 4.9. I didn't. I was too busy trying to work it out for myself and not paying any attention to what you just told me. So we're going to have a bit of a... What the heck is happening there? That don't work. Ooh. That goes like that. That goes like that. That doesn't go like that. That's because that's not the right way round. Ooh. It's all gone pear-shaped. Anyway, this is going to be a case of do as I tell you, not do as I've done. I don't know what's gone on here. Aha! That's that one then. So they join together like that. So have they gone upside down like that then? Yes. Oh, and that's where it's all going to go wrong because I've cut it wrong. Look at that. Right. Get your squares in the right place. And hopefully it's not going to be quite as abysmal as mine is. Okay. And then what you want to do is take your layered bit, which this is not going to work on mine. And then you're going to layer them up. Okay. And as I told you, mine is not going to work on mine. Look at this. What have I done? Apart from not cut it properly. There we go. I don't know what I was doing. I wonder what I've just had delivered through the door then. Right. So hopefully you have got 9 equal squares. That's even too... How can that be too big? Right, so hopefully you've got 9 equal squares like this. All right. And I can't cut anything off to even these up because that's when it'll go wrong. So I'm going to have to redo mine. So you need to glue yours down. I'll glue them even though they're wrong. Because I mean, what am I going to do with the... do with it anyway? So glue them down. And keep them in their 9. It's got to go that way. No, how's... That is definitely not right. There's definitely something wrong here. Oh, it goes that way, doesn't it? Yeah. There you go. Look at this. This is going to be an abomination. Right. Oh well, ladies, I'm very sorry I've cut mine wrong. As you say, I should have cut my strips down from one end. There we go. So so glue them down, keeping them in the pattern. And the original measurement of these little squares was 2 centimeters wider than the patterned piece. If we'll just call it the pattern piece, if you like, the stamped piece. So they should be 2 millimeters wider, but as I said, this one is completely wrong. Hopefully you'll get the idea though of where we're going. Oh, and I've gone off kilter as to how I'm gluing them down. So on my original one, the stamped gel pressed image was 5 centimeters square, and the little blue cards are 5.2 centimeters square. Obviously, that is not what it's going to look like by the time I finished. Oops. A bit too much PVA there. So let's just bring back the original one, shall I? I don't know how they... Oh, I don't know what I did when I was cutting this out. Right, that's right. You can see that it's just too short. Okay, so you should have 9 beautifully layered squares. That's what you should have. Let me know when you're at that point of having 9 beautifully layered squares. Mm. Oh dear, Nikki. Yeah, mine eyes. I would love to find a trimmer that actually, although the guillotine usually is okay, but I usually measure and mark them. I'd love to find a trimmer that mine actually do right, that actually cuts square. Thinking I might go down the road and find a guillotine or something. I don't know. These aren't square either. They're definitely not square, and they're oh, I don't even know what's happened here when I've cut them. Even if you don't put all this together, if I go through how you put it together, then if you want to have another go, then you can. Ah, this has been a successful little workshop session, hasn't it? I think we'll take this out of the public. Yeah, there you go, Nikki. I give up. I can't find anything to cut straight. So it's obviously me. I think I'll make this one a private or an unlisted workshop. It has gone completely pear-shaped, hasn't it? Let's be fair. Oh dear. At least we'll have something here anyway. Thank you, Moya. What a disaster. What a disaster. Okay. Never mind. It's the taking part that counts, okay? Yeah. Thank you, Helen. Yeah. I'm glad you think they're fun. As I sit here squirming in my chair because it's all gone wrong. Oh, okay, Lucinda. Well, what I'll do, well, when enough of you have got your layers all lined up, I'll then show you the next bit. All right, thank you, Pauline. It's not a disaster, it's a learning curve, okay? Did you say a huge learning curve? Oh, big. It's a big learning curve. Yeah. Trouble is, I can't have anything prepped, can I? Yeah, but Helen, it's okay for all you guys to. I'm not supposed to go wrong if I'm showing you what to do, am I? Hey ho. Yeah, so this is how you don't do it, all right? Thanks, Nikki. Oh dear. No, I have bad days too. You should see how many times my little ideas go a bit haywire when I'm prepping for you guys. Oh dear. Never mind. Oh, all in a day's work. All in a day's work. Hey. Well, I'm glad you're all enjoying it. Oh dear. That's true, Lucinda. Yes, it is true. You know that you know it's real. I'm not some kind of puppet or robot sitting here making it perfect all the time. Yeah, that's a good idea, Nikki. Yeah. Yeah. How to salvage it. Yeah. Not sure I'm going to be able to salvage this. Even when I've layered them up, they're not even. I just don't even know how this is cut the way it's cut. I'm just completely baffled. It's not even square. As I mean, straight lines. I don't even have straight. See, that one's okay. That one's crooked. Unbelievable. And I found that this PVA, which is from hello, Gail. Gail just had a little chat. So, are you watching, Gail, and not participating? Is that what you're saying in your message? Just a card like this. Yeah. Anyway, back to this. This funky glue pen from Tonic, and I've got other glue pens from Tonic. This really grips. So it's like, you don't want to press too hard too soon, otherwise you're just done for. You can't move it. Yeah, these aren't straight. None of these are straight. Oh my gosh. Right. I'm going to assume most of us have got our 9 squares. So what you then do is you've got to get it over onto your stencil card or the card cut to 7 inches. And you then arrange it. Now, I did do this by eye first of all, and then I moved them around. Because I think I had about 0.7 of a centimetre all the way around. I think it was something like that. I'll measure it for you. Hang on the one that's right. I think it's about that measurement. Let me see. I'm sure. Let me just tell you what it is on here. I'm sure it's about 1/7 of a centimetre. Yes, it is. It's actually, yeah, 7 millimetres, give or take, all the way around. You might have 8 on one, But that's roughly where you are to get this on this part of the card like this. Gosh. This is where you need the vellum. We'll put a great big vellum thing on there, shall we? We'll put a patch of vellum on it, stamped. I saw a really cool vellum idea actually on YouTube the other day. I thought she's using vellum like what we did. However, she did it slightly differently. Well, she did it very differently actually. But it looked really cool what she did. Maybe I might pinch her idea. We'll have a go. So when you've got it looking something like this, you then glue it down. I don't know if I'm going to bother wasting my piece of card. And then once that's done, you then glue it onto your other layer, ready to go onto your card. I know it's only a piece of card, but this is... Good grief, don't tell me this isn't going to sit straight. And this should be... Oh, I had it all written down somewhere. I think it was cut to 19 centimetres. It's about half a centimetre ish. It's not even, depending on the size of your stencil card. Because of course this is 7 inches, which is about 17.9, I think, centimetres. Should have stuck to inches, but I can do inches to start. Oh no, it's not. It's 17. So your stencil card is 17.7 and a wee bit, and then the blue layer card is 19 centimetres. I know that. So that it'll fit on the 8x8 card, which in this instance actually measures 20 centimetres. They don't all do that because the 6x6 card isn't 6 inches, it's the envelope that is. Well done, Paulie. You remind me of what was it? Was it the Morecambe and Wise show when he said when they had a go at him for playing the piano, and he said, "I'm playing all the right notes, but not necessarily in the right order." Oh dear. And then once that's all glued down, you can actually, I'm going to make it a little bit narrower so it's wider around the edges. Bring the pattern in a little bit closer. And then we can add the butterfly, and using one I made earlier, I'll go through the strip though. There we go. Something like that is what you're going to end up with. And this was such a good gel press background as well. That's so annoying. But anyway, hopefully you'll end up with something like that. All right. So that was the first card. I know this isn't glued down or anything. So to give you an idea, so keep it a bit narrower in the middles with a wider margin around the edge. So the pattern is actually closer together. Pop your butterfly on and then a little tag. Now to do the little tag, which I'm sure you all know how to do this, but just in case. So you'll take a piece of card and I will stamp the best wishes. I'm just going to ink it up rather than emboss it, all right? So I didn't say to you get any embossing out, so I'm just going to use the white ink. It's not even on straight. Gosh. We are doing well. So leave a little bit at the edge there. Press it down. On a strip of paper. This white ink is really good, but you do have to clean your stamp after using it. And you can't touch that because it takes a while to dry. But, you know, you'd have to heat it, really, to dry it. Let's see if I can do this without getting into a mess. Okay, I'll use these scissors. So to cut your tag, and then to do your fish tails, then you cut halfway. You cut in the middle, up as far as you want to go. Which one am I using? Which sentiment, Nikki? It's best wishes from Clarity. Oh, ink pad. Which ink pad? The white ink pad. It's Hero Arts Unicorn White. Really good. This is one of the best white ink pads I've seen, actually. And where did I get it from? I got it from Bumbleberry Crafts. So it's Bumbleberry Crafts. It's Hero Arts. Look for the ink. Sorry, Nikki. Look for Hero Arts, and it's unicorn white. I don't know if Craft Stash do it. Seven Hills Craft might do it. Bumbleberry Craft is where I got it from, I think. It's not that easy to get off over here, I have to say, because once it gets in, if people know it's in, it just goes again. It's ridiculous. So with the fish tails, cut. It's about the middle-ish. Everything's a bit ish now, isn't it? Cut up. Yes, it is. It's acid-free, archival, and fade-resistant, and it is a pigment ink. So it does take a while to dry, although this is drying. Well, you've got to be careful because I can see it's a little bit wet. It will smudge, and you definitely have to clean it off your stamp. Off your stamp. Right, so then from the corner, cut up to the edge, up to the centre where we cut. From the corner, I've got my scissors upside down here from Tim Holtz. So I'm going to have a little pattern on mine. No, maybe not. There you go. Ta-da! Oh. Yes, you've got to remember it's not glued down, Angela. And so here's the tag for today. And then what you could do, just to make it look even prettier, is, use one of the glitter pens. This one is actually Tonic Nouveau one. I have to say, these are really good. But your Wink of Stella or your Crafter's Companion one, which I've still got some of them. And then give it a little bit of juice and then pop it onto your card like that. All right. So that was that card. There we go. So that's that one done. Complete with all its, what should we say? Idiosyncrasies. That's a good word, isn't it? Well, let's do that. And then to do this card, you're all going to know how to do this. I took the negative print, stamped up, cut it. Now this is a A6 card. Okay, so the blue mat I think is 10 by 14.2. Yeah, it's 10 by 14.2. I cut it slightly smaller than I normally do, but it's 10 by 14.2. This then is cut to like millimeters to give you a little nice matte top and bottom. So I think it's about 9/8. Oh no, it's 14, isn't it? So it's 13/8 and it's cut to 7. So it's 7 centimeters by 13.8. So I cut this out, stamped the image, and this time I was actually going to put the baker's twine this way round. So I was going to go that way so it covered this bit. But you can do either way. You can do it underneath, and then I just put the butterfly on again using a foam pad. All right. And that's how I did that, this little one. So that's how I thought you could use these. I mean, you could use this again as the background in the same way that we just used it. But I just thought if you wanted to do something slightly different, then it could fit on a C6 card quite easily. It'll go onto a 6x6 hole if you want to do something larger with it. But it was just an idea to do an alternative card, okay, with what's left over. That's why I did that. So it just came up with something slightly different. It's kind of a classic kind of way of using it, really, isn't it? So you put your threads in, just wrap your threads, and then put your card over. Although this time, as I say, I was going to go over it, so you didn't have that lump, and you had a different kind of finish to it, just to make it look different. But that's how I did that one. Okay. But we're running close to time here, so I'll not get that one finished. But I think you know how to do all of this. So you just cut. I've got a layer. The mat here, as I said, is 10 by 14.2. This is cut to 7 to 13.8. And then I've just added a bit of baker's twine and the butterfly again. So that's how I was going to do it. All right. So hopefully you have got something finished that looks vaguely like this. Complete with my best wishes. There we go. And then here's the one we did today, which is a darker card, complete with its idiosyncrasies. Yeah, definitely have to do that again. So there we go. So here was the original one, and here was today's one, which I'm sorry it went haywire. It went a bit wrong in the measurements there. Wasn't paying any attention. So there we go. Are there any questions? Any questions? All right then. Well, thank you for joining me. I'll be in touch. Well, the next workshop is the Lavinia one, so it's already done. So you've already seen what we're going to make. That will use a gel plate again, but we're using it with inks and Brushos or watercolour. It doesn't have to be Brushos. And then we'll do, let me just grab them for you. I think I'll put them out the way to keep them safe. So far out the way, I don't actually know where they are. What do I do with them? Oh gosh, where are they? I put them to the side so to keep them safe whilst I was clearing up, and I've lost them. Oh, that's handy, Angela. Where the heck are the Lavinia cards gone? Oh, that's a bit. Oh, here they are. Stupid girl. I wrapped them in a piece of paper to protect them. Silly girl, silly girl. So what we'll do, I've got one more to do, but I know what I'm going to do. Oops. So you'll have 4. We're going to do these 2, I think. So we'll do the gel plate. And this is kind of right, but not kind of right, if you see what I mean. So we're going to go with something like this. And then we're going to do the DL card as well. All right. Oh, thank you, ladies. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. But so these are the 2 that we're going to make first. So we're going to do another gel plate and we're going to do a DL card. All right. So this is what we're going to do. Hi, Nancy. So they're the ones we're going to work on first. So I'll send you all the instructions for that and everything and what you need. What were you talking about your butterfly? Have you embossed your butterflies? See, that's a cool idea as well. Ah, lovely. Look what you lot have done. Yes. The stamping on the tiles will look good embossed too, or even the whole tiles. Yeah. Yes, it would. It would. So what we could do is, yeah, that's another alternative. We could have embossed it. Yeah. And then cut them up. That would have been quite a nice idea. See? I'm trying to keep it easy for you, but anyway. That would look really cool, actually, embossing it. So that's something else we could think about. We could do something slightly different later on. But anyway, you get the gist. You get the gist of what we're doing, where we were going with this, and how to use a gel press plate pattern. So when you pull it, so it's just one idea that we can use. Then we've got, as I said, we'll do the Lavinia for the next 2 sessions. So the second one in April, which will be the 18th. And now the May one again is going to fall on the 2nd of May, which is the bank holiday. So if you're happy with it to still be on the 2nd of May, I mean, we've got a little bit more freedom, but we still can't go anywhere, can we? Because we can't, well, don't know if we can travel anyway. But traveling isn't until the 18th of May, isn't it? 17th of May. Just before my birthday. Anyway, I'm glad, yeah, don't need to stick it down, ladies, if you don't want to, but this is an idea I just thought we'd go with. Pattern making. And then hopefully you had some more fun. So we can do more gel plate stuff with paint later. We can do that. That's fine. But what I'm seeing, what you've done looks good. So thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time with the Lavinia stuff. Have a lovely Easter weekend and catch up with you all soon. Take care. Bye.